Before this lesson, you looked at a pattern. I asked, what comes next? How did you know? You knew because you were able to see the pattern that came before it and predict what might come next. I'm guessing you probably thought it was the orange triangle. But what does that have to do with writing? Well, patterns can be helpful. Noticing a pattern in the shapes helped you predict what would come next. Sometimes when we're writing, we're not sure what to write next. And practicing the structure and the patterns that we use in writing helps us think about what we should write next. When we learn those patterns, it becomes easier to write. So today, we're going to look at an article. We'll look at an article about nuclear energy. Is nuclear energy safe or not? We're actually going to look at two articles today. One is saying that nuclear energy is safe. One is saying that nuclear energy is not. These are both forms of persuasive essays. They're trying to persuade or convince people to think a certain way. Both of these articles are going to follow a similar pattern. This is the pattern of a 5-paragraph essay. It could be more paragraphs, really, if you had more paragraphs in the middle, but this is the basic structure. It's kind of a 3-part essay. It has an introduction and a body and a conclusion. The introduction starts with a hook statement that catches your attention, gives a little info, and then has a thesis statement. That's the main point, or the person's main opinion. Next up are some body paragraphs. It could be a couple of them, or in this case there are 3. There could be even more. And a body paragraph is going to explain the reasons for the opinion. It's going to have some evidence or some facts. And finally, a conclusion. The conclusion says the main point or opinion again, kind of summarizes all those facts. And then it says the so what, what we might even call a call to action. This is why this matters, or here's something you can do about it. That's the conclusion. Let's take a look at one of these articles and try to identify or find some of these parts in this article. All right, let's see if we can figure out what this person's opinion is, what their thesis statement is. All right, imagine life without electricity. What would that be like? Electricity is very important for modern life. We use it for countless things. We use it to light our homes, power our computers. Many kinds of power can be used to make electricity. The best is nuclear power. Nuclear power comes from splitting the nucleus of an atom. Tiny atoms are the building blocks of all matter. The nucleus is the center part of an atom. Heat is released when a nucleus is split. The heat can be turned into a kind of power. Nuclear power, used for electricity, is made in buildings called nuclear power plants. Can you find the hook statement that catches your attention? That's right, that's at the beginning. Imagine life without electricity. What would that be like? It catches your attention and your imagination. Now, can you find the thesis statement? What is this person's opinion? Do they think nuclear is good or bad? You probably found their thesis statement. Many kinds of power can be used to make electricity. The best is nuclear power. They think nuclear power is good. Let's see why they think it's good. There's one simple reason why nuclear power is the best way to make electricity. It does not give off carbon. Carbon dioxide carbon is in carbon dioxide and in other gases. It's given off or emitted when fuels like coal or gas or oil are burned. People burn these fuels to power cars and all sorts of machines. Carbon gases are the main cause of the greenhouse effect. Once they're released, they remain in the air and trap heat. Over time, this has made the world hotter. Were you able to find the main evidence that they give in this, or the main claim? What claim or topic are they talking about in this one? The first reason they give is that nuclear is best because it doesn't give off any carbon. All right, let's take a look at the next paragraph. Wind power and solar power do not give off carbon either. However, they do not work all the time. The sun has to be out for solar power to work. The wind has to be blowing for wind power to work. Wind and solar technology is improving, but if it doesn't improve fast enough, we won't be able to use these technologies to prevent climate change. Nuclear power plants run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What is their claim in this one? What are they saying about nuclear energy in this example? Their claim is that wind and solar are not reliable enough. So that's their claim, and then they support that with some evidence. All right. Here's our third body paragraph. Many people think nuclear power is dangerous. They worry about radiation escaping from nuclear power plants. Radiation can be deadly. Even a small amount of it can kill. Nuclear plants are built to keep radiation from leaking out. Still, many people worry something will happen anyway. Actually, there's no reason to worry. Nuclear power plants are very safe. The United States has had nuclear power plants for more than 50 years. In that time, not one person in the U.S. has been killed or hurt by a radiation leak. What is their claim in this one? What are they saying about nuclear power in this one? Reason number 3, that they're saying that nuclear power is safe. All right, now the conclusion. Last month, world leaders gathered in Paris, France, to talk about ways to stop global warming. They agreed that every country will have to cut back on the amount of greenhouse gases it emits each year. Some countries will have to cut back a great deal. The goal is to have zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Meeting targets will be difficult. By 2040, there will be 9 billion people in the world, almost 2 billion more than there are now. There will be much more demand for electricity. The only answer is to use nuclear power much more now than we do. Nuclear power is the only way to give people the electricity they need while stopping global warming. There's no way to do both things at the same time. What is their overall concluding statement? What is their main point? What is their call to action? What do they want people to do? That's the question here. They're saying that nuclear power is the only way to give people the electricity they need while stopping global warming. All right, so to review, the introduction gives their main point or opinion. The body paragraphs give reasons for the opinion or main point. And the conclusion says the main point again and says what we should do about it. So for today's work, I'm going to have you read this article, Using Nuclear Power in the Fight Against Global Warming. Yes or no? I want you to read both opinions. Now remember, you can change the text level. You can have it read aloud. You can make it easier to read or harder to read depending on what level you want to read it at. And when you're done, I'm going to have you do some work with the slideshow. There's a slideshow I have here, and you're going to do what I just did. You're going to do the same thing on your own with the other side of the argument, why nuclear power might be harmful. So we just looked at why nuclear power might be good. You're going to do the same work looking at why nuclear power might be harmful.